Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode. My name is Jewel Williams, and I am coming at you with another video this absolutely fabulous July 18th, Monday morning. So I got a lot to cover in the news today. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. If you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe, share, follow me on social media, as I like to talk about and bring to you the latest information in the transportation and freight, broker, forwarding, trucking, logistics industry. All right. So that's my background. I've been in transportation and logistics for over 28 years. And therefore, I cover this information because it impacts my wallet. That's it. Everything moves by a truck, and when prices go up, my wallet gets short on the money. So today, I want to cover some good stories that I saw in the news, and a lot of these stories are coming from AP News and so forth. So anyway, let's get into it. So our first story we want to cover today, our president, Mr. Biden, has brought in some arbitrators for this railroad situation. So today is the day that the railroads were supposed to strike, and we can't have the railroad striking because so much freight moves by rail in addition to truck. At the end of the day, the truck will bring it to its final destination, yet the rail is very significant to the movement of cargo. And another big reason for this arbitration, this necessary arbitration, is because if the railroads stop moving, then that means a lot of stuff is going to go by truck. And with gas prices the way they are right now, the cost is just too much to bring those trucks all across the United States like that. And we're short on capacity, we're short on drivers, so we definitely need the rail systems to stay moving. And they have been, there's, just to give you some background, there's 115,000 rail workers on the job. And the arbitrators are going to come in and they're going to help negotiate this labor union, that coalition that's going on. And so the rails that are the rail groups, the group that represents the rail, we're looking at Union Pacific, BNSF, CSX, Norfolk Southern, Kansas City Southern, and other rails on the rail yard. To put in some more perspective on this story, this is the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Railroad Administration website. And their graphic shows here that nearly 140,000 miles and freight routes, and that this is nearly an $80 billion industry, 167,000 jobs across the country. And they've got 7 Class 1 railroads, 22 regional railroads, and 584 local short line railroads. So I'm glad that they stepped in on this, as we just don't need that to stop. So that was with the AP News that covered most of that story, and you can probably find that in some other stuff, get some more details. So on the next round of information, we are talking about those electric vehicles again. They're not going to let go of these electrical vehicles. And with gas prices the way they have been, with the fuel issues the way they have been, it makes sense. It does make sense as to why our political leaders are charging forward with looking at all the possibilities of electronic vehicles. So in this story, I found interesting that the congressman that joined Nikola for an EV showcase at their Capitol building And in this picture here are two trucks. This story is from Transport Topics website. And here, Representative Greg Stanton joined the Phoenix-based truck manufacturer Nikola Corp to showcase two electric trucks near the U.S. Capitol building. Nikola had on display its Class 8 tray battery electric truck and its Class 8 tray hydrogen fuel cell electric truck. These are interesting. Again, all I can say is, we definitely, electric trucks, I get it. At least they're not autonomous vehicles, because that's a whole different story. Yet I do see why they want to balance out and have a little bit less diesel reliant vehicles and kind of balance that out. Definitely some things. But you're probably wondering why Nikola. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, it should, because last year their CEO got into a whole lot of trouble. So Trevor Milton was the former CEO of this company, and they recently settled charges that were brought against them with the Securities and Exchange Commission, as it shows here in this news release on the Securities and Exchange Commission website, dated December 21st, 2021. And Nikola Corporation to pay $125 million to resolve fraud charges. So what I recall from this story, what it says here is basically Trevor Milton made some false accusations about what their company was and wasn't doing as far as the building of these trucks go. And I also understand that he was encouraging people to follow him on social media to get basically feedback or information. I think it was on the lines of insider trading. Let me see here. Yeah, SEC charges founder of Nikola Corp with fraud. So the Securities and Exchange Commission announced charges against Trevor, the founder and CEO, and let's see, for repeatedly disseminating false and misleading information. And I believe I did a story on this in one of my videos when this happened. I do believe I did. So the company is back and better than ever, as they are touting their new electric vehicle. So I hope it works. I really do hope that they're on the right track with getting this done, because it was, from what I understand, that was a big mess. Also in the news, Georgia, my home state where I'm at right now, Georgia is charging forward also with the electronic vehicles, and there was no pun intended when I said that. So JLL partner on the EV charging infrastructure bid. Here's a picture of Governor Kemp. Now I know the transportation builder Josephine Trucker, let me see, JAL Managing Director of Clean Energy Infrastructure advising, said the release. Let's see. As an advisor to the state of Georgia, JLL will deliver expertise in engaging public and private stockholders, analyzing future demand, and engaging the impact of EV charging in future business modes and implementations. So JLL is helping Georgia build more charging stations throughout the state. This particular piece of news is because the federal government has a plan in place to build more charging stations throughout the United States, and several states are wanting a piece of the money that is going to be disseminated from the federal government. So it says here, the plan will help Georgia Department of Transportation apply for funds from a $5 billion electric vehicle infrastructure grant program established in the 2021 federal bipartisan infrastructure law. According to the news, that's what they are all grabbing at. So for those of you who drive Teslas, I think that's a great, this is a great bill that's moving forward, because I know a few people who drive those vehicles, electric vehicles, and they don't have a lot of charging stations around. So they are definitely heading that up. Now, to piggyback on that, other states are doing the same. States prepare for EV charging plans ahead of the August 1st deadline. This is also out of Transport Topics. And it looks like there was a deadline looming. States are finalizing their electric vehicle infrastructure deployment plans. The plans must be submitted to the Joint Office of Energy and Transportation. Then the Federal Highway Administration will approve eligible plans by September 30th before funds are issued from the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Formula. So I do know that the federal budget begins, the new allocation of funds begins in September. That's why you're seeing a lot of this news about electric vehicles flooding into your media, because states are definitely jumping on this bandwagon. So in this particular, they're stating that among the states that are seeking the NEVA dollars are Arizona, Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, Mississippi, Texas, Virginia, and Washington. Arkansas opened public comments July 12th to the 19th. So tomorrow, if you live in Arkansas, you got to the 19th to help shape its plan to capture 54.1 million. And then expecting to receive 76.5 million federal funds over the next 5 years. Arizona's DOT has been conducting public outreach in surveys and in public meetings. So there's a lot going on in the news in regards to electronic vehicles. It also states down here the different corridors that the different states are looking at. So we have here eligible for 407 million. Texas has determined 55 new locations for EV charging are needed to comply with a federal 50-mile maximum spacing requirement. Virginia's plan is to spend 100 million during the next 5 years to install public EV charging stations initially along I-64, I-66, I-81, I-85, I-95, and I-270. And Virginia being a major corridor going up and down the East Coast, that's good. I think that'd be excellent for those of you who are out in that. And then they have here Washington State aims to receive 71 million in NEVI funds, plus a 20% non-federal match of 17.75 million. Priorities include making I-5 and I-90 meet federally defined built out standards for EV charging stations. So definitely the federal government is on a big push to get electronic vehicles, EVs, out. Obviously, this has been initiated due to the gas situation that we have and all those things. So we're looking to not be so dependent. Now, I do know, I think it was back earlier this year, maybe around February and March, I do know that Vice President Kamala Harris did a press conference announcing the new bill that they had approved in regards to clean energy and alternative energy sources. So this is also a part of that. So a lot is going on in the news today as far as electronic vehicles go, and all of this has to do with our transportation and supply chain. Now, the interesting part to all of this, all of this stuff has got to move by truck. All those stations that you see have to be built, and the parts will arrive by a dominantly diesel vehicle during this time. So it's interesting how we still have to depend on trucks. We still have to depend on trucks to make all of this happen. And I know what the goal is, but just keep in mind, for those of you who are concerned that these new things may be pushing transportation, diesel trucks out to the side. We got time, because you got to make the parts. You got to distribute the parts before the parts can be applied. So I hope this information was helpful to you. Like I said, if you like what you see, like, subscribe to my channel. And one final, thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next video. Peace, my people.